difficult. And that's why I say it has to be really more calculating in this one. It's incredibly difficult for this. I think there are too many players at stake. There are too many countries involved in these discussions. So I wouldn't want to venture something like this.
Self-determination is a very neutral term.
It's not actually. It has always been associated with the concept of secession.
Yes, but what I'm saying by it's a neutral term, it depends on who, when and how it is applied.
Yes, when we say kasi self-determination,
Is it a Western concept mostly imposed on Oriental or Asian countries?
Well, we can say that. No, the self-determination is usually mentioned for a country na in-invade ng another country. Like for example, the Americans invaded the Philippines.
Yes.
Or Japan invaded the Philippines. And at that point, the Philippines will have the right to self-determination.
And would it be correct that usually it is the Western countries who usually come up with the term multiculturalism based on European centrism, and that if you are not civilized, if you are not European of European standard, I mean these were the views then before.
Yes, and also perhaps the views that sovereignty is a looser aspect right now,
Yes,
so a
yes.
looser thing. But in the end, I think one guiding principle always for international law is essentially yung national interest pa rin eh. The other
Yes.
countries will respect us for that. They may say things out of protest and what have you, but if we had acted in a consistent fashion with regard to national interest, they will understand that. And whatever the terminology is na fashionable might be in
Yes,
international
self-determination is a very fashionable term now.
yeah, well, one would see it lang kahit sa congressional hearings eh.
Oo.
You have commentators there. People kasi think of law as parang neutral. It's not eh. There are ideologies in law.
Yes, yes.
There is a progressive international law. There's a liberal type of
Yes.
international law. Then there's international law, traditional international
And would it
law.
be correct to say that the United Nations is actually
It's
very
all-
progressive?
It's highly progressive and liberal right now.
Yes.
And one has to remember when people say that, well, it's a theory. It's their opinion.
Yes.
But whether or not it's the right thing of the Philippines is a different matter.
Yeah.
So,
And this brings me to the question. You know, some legislators think that just because they quote the United Nations,
yeah.
you know, that they're standing on good ground. But this brings me now to the point.
No, even the United Nations is highly politicized.
Precisely. And
so-
that it's a good thing that you said it, because now I'd like to bring this this to the public, that sometimes the United Nations is a very liberal, it's institution. Precisely why I'd like to ask the question, in the Philippines, which law should be sovereign? Domestic law
precise.
or international law?
And that's why I'd like to emphasize this part because it is always been the case that pagdating sa Philippines, we have only one law that's supreme, and that's the Constitution.
Yes.
The BBL does not say that. What it says is the BBL will be read Constitution, international law, all the other human rights, customs, and traditions. I mean, it's the first time I've ever seen a law in the Philippines na ganun yung sinasabi.
Jemai, final question. Why is there seems to be this fad to always embrace international law? And, because it's a fad abroad and it's very liberal, it's very progressive. Let's do this, and sometimes to the detriment of our sovereignty, of our self-interest.
Well, that's a whole other show
I
altogether.
know, but I mean, just...
Siguro I'll say it directly to the parents who are watching. When you send your child and they study abroad,
Yeah.
Harvard, Yale,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever, make sure that when they're sent there,
they regurgitate this thing.
yeah, they have a very strong foundation of loving the Philippines. Because otherwise, they will just copy whatever the leftist professors that they meet
Correct.
here from those
Yeah.
law schools. And then when they come back, they will think that what they have is gospel truth, which
Yes.
is actually not the case.
Yes.
So,
Well, I'm glad that our guest is talking this way, because that is really true. You will be regurgitating everything which may be totally alien to your traditions and customs and values as a Filipino. So thank you very much, Jemai.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you. I'm always
Thank
glad
you.
to have this guy with us. The last time I had him was we had topics on gender issues between marriage, between same-sex marriage, no? And that was a very nice topic. I hope we're going to have that again.
well, it's a nice topic because the other guest that we had, si Raymond Alikpala,
Yeah.
was also quite very thoughtful in his
Matalino
positions.
din.
Yeah,
So that's what made it extra special for that discussion. Maraming salamat, Jemai. Okay, ito po si Eric Espina, palagi pong nagsasabi sa inyong magmasid, makialam, higit sa lahat ay manindigan. Dahil wala pong magmamahal sa Pilipino kung hindi ang Pilipino. Daghang salamat, maayong gabi kaninyong tanan.